So today we're back. We are trying to predict all 11 fixtures for game week 41 of the Isthmian League Premier Division, the penultimate weekend of fixtures. Dartford are, of course, running out of time, and there are teams in those bottom places who are also running out of time. There is still an awful lot to play for. You've got 3 teams scrapping to get themselves into the playoff. You've got probably 3 teams scrapping to make sure that they don't go down. It is a real dogfight at both ends of the table at the moment. Of course, we did have some other confirmations from last week. Of course, Potters Bar were relegated and they joined Canvey Island in that relegation confirmed spot. And obviously, there's still a couple other relegation places to be confirmed, which is what makes it so exciting that there's 2 relegation places up for grabs. And, there's 3 or 4 teams that are so close together down there. So we're going to start from the top as always and make our way down the list. And we're going to start off with a big one at the bottom more than the top. Aveley are taking on Carshalton. Now, of course, Billericay are just on such good form that Aveley still need to make sure that if they want a chance at a playoff home final, that they still need to win both games, because I think Billericay will probably win both their last games because their form is so incredible. Aveley are coming off the back of 3 straight wins. Carshalton, on the other hand, couldn't do us Dartford fans a favour. Lost 4-2 to Brentwood, which does mean they're only 2 points off those relegation places. So a win for hashtag or Cray this weekend and a most likely loss for Carshalton could well put them in that relegation zone. It will be an incredibly tough game for Carshalton, especially away from home. I don't think they'll do it, if I'm being completely honest, and I think it's going to be a fairly comfortable 3-1 Aveley win. Moving on to the next one, we have Billericay taking on Whitehawk. We spoke about Billericay. Form is it just continues. It just doesn't stop, and it's not even that. Even managing to keep themselves a clean sheet, which they hadn't done for a couple of weeks prior. They started to let the goals creep in previous games. Obviously, they are taking on Whitehawk, who had a very good home draw against Folkestone, but of course, Folkestone have already celebrated winning the league, and they will not be hitting their 100 points, which... Who cares? Will they really be bothered? They're going up to play in the National League South. Who really cares? I know I wouldn't care, to be honest. But as I say, it was a good result for Whitehawk, but you're going away to Billericay. Billericay will still be chasing that second spot to get themselves the home playoff final, if they get there, of course. So for me, it's an easy one. I'm backing Billericay to win a comfortable 2-0. After that, we go on to Cheshire. Cheshire are taking on Brentwood. Please, Cheshire, go and get a win. They've had a couple of fantastic results. They went away on the weekend and beat Burgess Hill. Before that, they obviously beat Potters Bar. So they do come onto this into this game with a slight bit of confidence. They're playing at home as well. Last home game of the season, 2 straight wins, and who say they don't want to be the team that Brentwood are celebrating that they've made playoffs against. No one wants to be that side that you're people are celebrating against you. So, it's going to be a mega tough game. Brentwood are going to be so up for it. Couple of fantastic wins against teams down the bottom, Welling and Carshalton, something that we've struggled to do throughout the season. It will be incredibly tough. And my head's going, come on, Cheshire, you can do it. You can sneak a 1-0 or 2-1, but I can't see it happening, to be honest. I do think it'll be tight. I really do think it'll be tight. But I think Brentwood have just got enough to do it. And I think Brentwood are going to win 2-1. So we're getting all the big games out the way straight away, aren't we? Because next we've got Chichester taking on Dartford. Was meant to go to this one, won't be going, but my brother will be going. So look out on socials on @FootballTalk YouTube, because there will be some short content for the Dartford Chichester day on the channel, the main channel, of course, that is @FootballTalk YT. But Chichester, we all know their form has been borderline appalling. Of course, they were the team that did officially relegate Potters Bar from the Isthmian League with a 1-0 away win on the weekend. That confirmed Potters Bar's first relegation. Absolute yonks. I couldn't believe the stat, to be honest. I really couldn't. It was a quite incredible stat. But before that, they came off the back of 3 straight losses. Look, I can't see Dartford messing this one up. They've been on an absolutely fantastic run of form. 4 wins and a draw throughout their last 5 games. But not only that, it's the fact that they're just scoring goals. 3 against Chatham, 4 against Canby, 4 against Lewes. It's just been some really, really good form. It just might be that result, a couple of results throughout the season really bugger us up. Anyway, let's just get to prediction. Obviously, Chichester away. Me and James did do this one last year where we drew 2-2 after going 2-0 up. Absolutely appalling game on a Tuesday night. Hell of a journey it was. But for me, yeah, Dartford are going to go away. They are going to win. They've got no choice. There can't be any slip-ups if they do want any chance. So for me, it's going to be a Dartford 3-1 win, just because we quite like to concede a goal here and there, don't we? So continuing with the theme of big games, Cray Valley, they have got to play Folkestone. If there was any time to play Folkestone, at least play them when they've got nothing to fight for. As you saw on the weekend, Whitehawk managing to get a result out of them, although it be just a point. It just shows that you're playing Folkestone at a good time. If I was a player, I was already promoted, already won the trophy, already been out on the lash, celebrated it. Would I really want to risk getting injured before my summer holidays and pre-season coming up? Not particularly, but Cray Valley, it's their last home game of the season. They're 2 points off the relegation zone behind Carshalton, as we've already mentioned. Cray Valley's form has been pretty woeful in the last couple of games. They had 2 wins prior. It's those 2 wins prior to the draw and the loss what kept them in it. Obviously, most recent result, we'll get onto hashtag in a minute as well. 1-1 against hashtag. Cray Valley did have a red card in that one. Is it the worst result in the world? I'm just not sure. I'm not sure a draw really did hashtag or Cray Valley a massive favour. I suppose it just kept them in and around each other and Carshalton. It's a really tricky one to call out those relegation spots. Cray Valley have definitely got the toughest running. Hashtag don't really want to be in the league anyway, but I'm sure their players aren't going to want to get relegated. I'm sure they're going to want to do it the voluntary way rather than maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. And Carshalton, I still can't believe Carshalton are even down there. Obviously, well in 17th now. The win in the week against Potters Bar was just absolutely massive. How big of a win was that? They are now, a really, really comfortable 5 points clear of that relegation zone. And I think Welling are more than safe. So it's a dog fight between the Carshalton hashtag and Cray Valley. But let's stick to this game. I don't really need to touch on Folkestone too much. They've had their airtime over the last few weeks. But can Cray Valley at home nick something out of Folkestone? Can they do it? Yeah, let's give them it. Let's back them to get a whopping point. Let's go for the same result they just had on the weekend, a 1-1 draw there, which would just give them a final chance on the last day of season. So next up, we got not quite a dud game because, as we've mentioned, Welling still do have a bit to do. After their 2 fantastic wins, 2 clean sheets, as we mentioned, Potters Bar in the week, and of course Dulwich Hamlet at home on the weekend. Cray Wanderers, of course, five of their last games, 4 of them have been wins. Cray Wanderers have had a pretty exceptional season. They really, really have. But unfortunately, there's 6 teams above them that have just done, significantly better. So I think it's a good stepping stone for Cray Wanderers to build on next year. A ground I'd really like to go to, actually. A really, really good match day. But anyway, I think both teams will be up for it. I think it could be a really good game, really tense, really tight. I think it's going to be another 1-1 draw, a cop out. Let's just go for 1-1. After that, we won't spend too much time on this one. We got Dulwich Hamlet taking on Burgess Hill, 8th versus 9th. 2 teams with just absolutely nothing to play for. What do I even say? Burgess Hill, 2 wins out of the last 5, 3 losses. Dulwich Hamlet, 2 wins out of the last 5, 2 losses and a draw. They're 2 teams that will be in the Isthmian League next year. A great starting season for Burgess Hill, I must admit. I don't really know which way this will go. I'm sure Dulwich will get a fantastic home crowd, last home game of the season. So let's just go for a Dulwich win. Let's go 2-1 Dulwich. Why not? After that, we got Lewes taking on Wingate and Finchley. Wingate, again, not doing us any favours. Getting absolutely thumped by Chatham 4-0. I did expect it, to be fair, but, you always like to dream, don't you, that something might happen. Lewes, on the other hand, what an appalling season they've had. I mean, they really have. Although they're safe because they're 6 points off, they're not safe because if Hashtag and Cray Valley and Carshalton won all their games, and Lewes lost to theirs, their goal difference is so bad. Lewes have conceded something crazy like, I'm trying to find it actually, 80 goals this season. Only 2 teams in the league have conceded more. And yes, this is true that Canvey Island, who were relegated 22nd in the league, Canvey Island conceded less goals. That's just how many Lewes have conceded this season. So we've got a bit of additional likes. It's gone a bit dark out there. So let's move on. Quick prediction: Lewes are Wingate and Finchley's win 2-1. Why not? Let's go for it. Right, let's get these last couple done. We've got Potters Bar taking on Chatham. Potters Bar maybe having nothing to lose. Maybe having that pressure off them might pay some dividends for the Darts. Maybe Potters Bar are going to do us an absolutely humongous favour and do what they did to us at their ground and win 1-0. Is that likely to happen? It's very unlikely. Potters Bar have lost their last 4 games straight. It's so disappointing. It's such a poor season for them. And they've got to play a Chatham side who, even though they've only had 1 win in their last 4, I don't think there's anyone in the world that is going to bet against Chatham this weekend. I think Chatham are going to comfortably do it, unfortunately. I think they're going to go there and run rampage like they did against Wingate and win 3-0, which is not really a prediction I wanted to give. But that's how it goes. So after that, we've got Ramsgate taking on Hashtag United. Ramsgate, again, pretty productive first season in the league, keeping themselves way clear of that relegation zone. 54 points, could make the 60-point mark, which would be a fantastic season. They have lost their last 3 games straight, though. But one thing I love about Ramsgate, they create entertaining games, scoring lots and conceding lots, which, as I say, makes for an entertaining game. They have got to play Hashtag United, Hashtag, of course, they've been a bit all over the place with consistency. Sort of, they've gone from a win to a loss to a win to a loss to a draw. It's been a bit all over the place, and there's a bit of me that thinks the 4 that are in the relegation zone right now are probably my 4 to get relegated. Of course, that can change at any time. 1 week can change absolutely everything in this league. It's bonkers. It's fantastic. It's it's a great league, but it's not quite the National League South for me personally. It's one of those. Hashtag need it a lot more. Ramsgate are coming into some poor form. I'm going to do what I did with Cray Valley, give Hashtag a point and go for a 2-2 draw because, I think it could be an entertaining game. And sadly, we finished off the video with a very underwhelming game. St Albans are taking on Canvey Island. St Albans, I'm not going to say it again. I've said it everything. It's been a massively underwhelming season for them. It looks like they are going to finish their season right bang in sort of that mid-table area. And of course, they've got their last home game of the season against Canvey Island, who of course well and truly relegated, lost 4-0 to us on the weekend. It's got a St Albans win all over it. Probably a fairly comfortable win, 3-0, but it's it's the real meaning of just a completely dud game, isn't it? But there you go. Be interesting to see where we are come the end of this game week. I am incredibly hopeful that Brentwood or Chatham mess up. And realistically, Chatham's goal difference being better and Brentwood being 3 points ahead, there's no real other choice than they've actually got to lose. Draws just won't cut it. They've actually got to lose. And that's what just makes it really hard to stay hopeful on. If one of them just had to drop a couple of points, you'd be feeling a lot more optimistic. But it's a big ask for us to win both games and one of those to lose one of theirs. It's a really tough feat. But got to be optimistic. I don't care where we finish in those playoffs, 4th, 5th. I don't really care. I just want to be in them and have a bit of hope that we can break the curse in the playoffs. Otherwise, we're stuck in this division for another season. But there you go. Game week 41 of the Isthmian League predicted. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, we'll see you next week for the very last game week of the Isthmian League, and then we'll start getting some predictions for the playoffs. I got there in the end. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Till next one. Bye for now.